Hi, this is David Guest. Welcome to the 14-Day Action Challenge, challenging you to take back control of your time and your business. Today is all about goal setting. Before we get into goal setting, let me tell you a quick story from Alice in Wonderland. You see, after Alice went down the rabbit hole, she found herself at a crossroads in the company of the Cheshire Cat. Unsure of which direction to take, she turned to the cat and asked, "Excuse me, sir, do you know which is the right road for me to travel along?" The cat replied, "It really depends on where you're going." Alice looked at the cat and said, "Well, actually, I don't know where I'm going." To which the cat responded, "Then it doesn't really matter which road you take." How many times in life are we sitting at the crossroads not knowing really which way to go, stuck in procrastination and delaying making decisions because we don't know which is the right path? Knowing which path to take is easy when you're clear on your direction, and this is why goal setting is so essential to success in every aspect of life. Setting goals gives us a starting point, a crystal clear understanding of the right paths to take when travelling the road to our destination, as well as a believable vision and a sense of where we're going to end up. Today, you'll decide on one simple goal that you'll use for the next 14 days to give you direction, focus, and a gauge of your success for the 14-Day Action Challenge. You may not know this, but our brains are hardwired to actively respond to the goals that we set. I'll explain how that works. All of us have a part of our brain called the reticular activating system, or the RAS for short. The job of this RAS is to filter out anything that you've unconsciously or consciously decided is irrelevant or unnecessary in your life. By doing this, it gives us the ability to focus on the key things that we need to be thinking about, and especially what we're interested in. You can think of your RAS like a Google or a search engine in your head. So imagine for a moment that we're sitting there with Google, and the only way that we can experience the world is by what we type into the search engine. Now, if you typed in the word problem and you hit enter, all you'd find is there's lots and lots of problems, and it'll show you all the things about problems in the world. You might even think that there's nothing else, because that's all you see through your reticular activating system. And if you did the opposite, just like typing the word success, you'd notice that you'd see all the successes in the world, and everything that you would see on the screen would be about success. So this reticular activating system is always active. What really matters is how we program it. An example you might be familiar with is you might have bought a new car at some point in your life, or you might have changed cars. And you might remember this sort of experience. You buy a car and it might be, say, a blue BMW. And when you start driving that blue BMW around, all of a sudden you'll start to see many other BMWs on the road where you may not have noticed those before. That's your reticular activating system kicking in. So what you want to do is use your goal setting mechanism to get your RAS focused on what you want to achieve. For the 14-day challenge, you'll use the worksheet to write down your time management goals. The process of thinking about writing down your goals will fire up your reticular activating system and get the filter and focus in place that you need for success. Now, for your goal to be highly charged and easy for your RAS to put into action, there are 5 things that you need to incorporate in the way that you create your goal. Number 1 is that your goal needs to be specific. What I mean by that is it needs to not have words like more or less or everything or nothing, or I'd like to just feel better or happy. It needs to be something that we can actually put our finger on, that we can define easily. Remember back to the car story, we didn't just want a new car, we were more specific. We were looking at a BMW that was blue. And you can even get more specific and say that you want a particular model. So the more specific you get with your goal, the more effective that goal will be. Let's look at an example of a time management goal that's specific, and that might be how many hours a week you work. So rather than saying I'd like to work less, you would say I'd like to work 40 hours a week. Number 2, it must be measurable. Now your goal needs to be measurable, and it needs to be measured in terms of time, dollars, or some sort of number so that you can actually look at it on a scale and make sure that you're actually moving forward in the right direction. We want a whole BMW, not part of a car or not an image of a car. So we need to have a measurable goal. When it comes to time management, that will be probably the number of hours you work, or the time that you start work, or the time that you finish work. Number 3, it needs to be achievable. Your goal needs to be something that you can realistically make happen. This means having a combination of the desire, skills, and time to achieve your goals. If you are without an income and living in a remote community with a goal to own a BMW in 2 days' time, your desire might be burning hot. However, the other circumstances may make your goal unachievable in 2 days' time. So you need to be looking at your goal and making sure that it is achievable with what you have right now. An achievable time management goal could be that I'll take a break at 1 p.m. every workday for a minimum of 2 minutes, during which time I let my email and phone go unanswered. Number 4 is about making sure your goals are result-oriented. Now, what result-oriented means is that your goal is about an outcome. What will you have at the end of the 14-day challenge? Is it going to be that you're going to reward yourself with a dinner out or a weekend away or even a week with a family? But your goal must be about an outcome and not just an activity. Number 5 is to make sure that your goals have a time frame on them. The difference between a dream and a goal is that a dream is a someday maybe wish list, and a goal is something that has a definite end date. Because by putting an end date and an end time on your goal, you're going to make sure that you're going to get there with excitement, with enthusiasm, and with lots and lots of motivation and energy. So let's recap. Number 1, your goals need to be specific. Number 2, they need to be measurable. Number 3, they need to be achievable. Number 4, they need to be results oriented. And number 5, they need to be time framed. Altogether, that spells out SMART. Using SMART to create your goals, make sure you've got them in the best format for your reticular activating system. For the 14-day action challenge, you have a worksheet to guide you through creating your own SMART time management goal. That means your time management challenge task for today is to write down on the worksheet the goal that you want to achieve over the next 14 days that will give you the greatest personal time and freedom. To make sure you get this done without taking too much time and overthinking it, allow yourself 15 minutes right now. Write down whatever comes to mind first, get it down on paper, then see how you can turn it into a SMART goal after that. Your time is the most precious asset you have, so use it wisely every minute. And remember, right now you have everything you need to succeed, and it's the actions you take today that create the wealth and freedom you enjoy tomorrow.